Hello and welcome to Get Your Hands Off My Dogcast. My name is Jamie, and joining me today is
Oliver
and Alistair.
And this is the podcast where we discuss films about dogs. This week we watched the 1997 film Air Bud.
Starting off strong.
And let me tell you, it is a real joy.
It is a real joy.
Oliver, first of all, do you want to discuss... You didn't watch all of Air Bud.
No. Let's not discuss that. Let's first discuss what this podcast is trying to achieve, why we chose this concept.
Yes, that would be better.
Why, in fact, we are spending our lives doing this.
Yeah.
This is the only thing I do in my life.
So, Jamie, I believe you came up with this concept.
I believe it was me.
Well, that's to be determined.
It was not me.
If Alistair says he invented it, we'll give it to him. He's a violent man, and I fear him.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, I feel like it's Jamie's child. Jamie fought for it. I spitballed an idea about watching dog movies, and Jamie took that and ran with it.
And I gotta say, I was unsure. I feel like it's on many levels a terrible idea, but
Manny,
it's an AFA.
Well, it's just a very niche sort of thing, and I believe, but it's also, we're the only people in the world who have had such a specialised, will know more than anyone else about dog films.
Well, yeah, people will come to us to know about these films.
And I don't have a particular affinity for dogs as such, but...
You do have a particular interest in that field, though, Oliver. You like to explain.
I do, in that field... When dogs wear suits, which they don't do all the time, which is why it's so appealing.
It is fairly uncommon for a dog to wear a suit, I've found.
Occasionally they do slip one on.
Mainly after you force them into it.
For a night out on the
Only
town.
for black tie affairs.
And it looks incredible. Just anthropomorphic. I mean, they got to be brown. They got to have middling...
the dogs or the suit?
Or the suit?
The dog's brown suit, come on.
Well, yeah,
Black suit.
It's like a nice 70s sort of thing going there with like a sort of a brown.
That could work, but the dog's
I think a
brown.
golden lab in a suit would be...
Oh yeah, golden lemon and brown suit.
I feel like a white dog, maybe a husky in a brown suit. But for a proper formal occasion, you got to wear a black one. You got to be a brown dog, and that's just my criteria. There are others out there, but it's good. In this movie that we saw, Air Bud, there were no dogs in suits, but there was a dog wearing some bloody good basketball shoes.
Yep.
And a basketball singlet as well, so it's important to note that.
So I'm somewhat on board, hoping we'll get a suit movie in the near future.
I'm sure
Air Bud.
So Air Bud, yes, as I was saying earlier, 1997.
1997, classic film.
Classic film. On many lists of greatest films of all time. All of them written by me. So what is Air Bud about?
So yeah, let's just quickly review the plot for the few among you who may not have
very dense, so bear with us.
seen the film. Yeah,
a lot going on.
Structurally, there's quite a few stories within the story kind of going on. So the basic story is there's an unsuccessful clown. He has a dog.
Happy Slap? Happy
Slappy is his real name.
His real name's Mr. Snively.
Yep, played of course by Michael Jeter.
That's right.
He loses his dog, who is his companion and is trained in kind of ball juggling skills.
He's initially trying to get rid of this dog.
Well, that's not entirely accurate. He gets fed up with the dog and he's trying to sell him to a pound. They don't have a good relationship.
That's right.
Very stressful.
It seems that he's been on some sort of last straw. His business as a clown is not going well, and Air Bud sort of underperforms at a kid's birthday party, and that's that's it.
It's
their relationship is over.
Yes, and as he's driving him to the pound, he's in Air Bud is in a dog carrying box on the back of the truck. This is new to Oliver, but
yeah,
this is all good stuff.
Yeah,
we'll get to
I'll just have a listen to this.
Okay, yeah, you should probably hear this.
So Air Bud falls off the back of the truck. He's seen by a young boy who's moving into town.
The young boy's in a car with his mother. Oh, this is like the open road. There's no other cars there, and somehow the mother is completely dumbfounded by this.
She doesn't see
crate
it
on the road, and she nearly kills this dog in a crate because she can't see it on the road, which is just.
I have my personal suspicions that he is a drug user, but we'll get to that later as well. So yeah, the child, the young boy, he's very unhappy. Josh, that's his name.
What's it? Bram? Is it?
Fram.
Fram.
Josh Fram. Obviously, a lot of allusions in that name, but I'm sure you're all familiar with that. So
you don't even need to go there.
There's no need to talk about that
I've
at
got them
all.
all up here.
At all, yeah. So he's very unhappy. His father has recently, allegedly, died. Again, that's something we will be looking
We
at.
are led to believe this is through he's some
depth.
sort of test pilot in a crash.
Yep.
We are shown this in very clunky
But there are.
exposition.
Oh yeah, there's some beautiful exposition, which is him unpacking because they're moving to this new town.
Yeah, shit.
He's unhappy, but he does apparently like basketball, and he gets immediately recruited as the manager for a local team, which mainly seems to involve pumping
that
up
sounds
balls.
like a really professional thing, but
It's not. The coach takes pity on him.
Because he goes to like the practice, and the kids all run off doing their basketball thing.
And he
the
just kind of
the coach
sits there
sees him sort of
slightly
sitting on
autistically.
the bleachers, if you will, and is like, "Hey kid, you want to be a manager? It's a tough job." That coach actually we find out later to be a pretty abusive guy.
Well, like later in the movie, Jamie, you're confusing the listeners.
We didn't even discuss the fact that when they run into the mother assumes that the box on the road is empty. Only the child sees the dog.
Oh, okay, yeah, I don't feel that's it.
I feel it is.
We're getting bogged down in the details,
I
Jamie.
feel like this is very...
Bogged down in the
this is-
details. Okay, so...
Wait, does she try and crush the box?
No. She just doesn't see it.
No,
And
she
she
just
screeches
doesn't
to a
see-
halt. And she's like, "Oh my god, there's a box on the road."
And
She's
then they just drive
deeply
off.
shocked.
But Josh
by it.
sees Airbud.
But Josh sees Airbud creeping out the side, and he obviously there's a bit of a connection there. There's a spark between them.
I drive
Later,
through a cardboard box. It's great. You see
It's
movies.
not a cardboard. It's like a dog
it's like
carrying
a full
box.
like thing like you
I
take
drive
a dog
through it
like a
if it's
blanket or
empty.
something.
Okay. Josh exploring, finds an abandoned church.
That's right,
I think
yes.
it's meant to be a church.
Yeah, it was a church. It had like the welcome
Yep.
church.
And then
thing.
he kind of
Welcome church.
This is a church,
he hears some kind of grunting from some bushes.
which we initially thought was
It actually thought, was
the
probably a
masturbatory
homeless
acts of a
man.
homeless man.
But he leaves some yogurt there, and then he encounters Buddy, who eats the yogurt, and they kind of strike up a friendship.
Because they have a shared love for b-ball.
Exactly.
Basketball.
Yep. For the casual fans out
Yeah,
there.
so if you're not aware, it's a bit inside baseball.
Jamie's
there.
a bit of a hoop fiend,
b-ball, as
so-
the kids call it, is a common street term for basketball. What happens from there?
Well, from there, it's. I'm not gonna lie, I've forgotten.
It's not particularly memorable. Basically, the point is, but
Eventually, Josh gets on the
Yeah.
basketball team. It's discovered that Buddy's ball juggling skills from his past life as a clown's assistant actually fare him pretty well on the courts.
Oh, lovely stuff.
So
some real
he can
skill.
dunk,
That's right.
even though he's a golden lab, not a brown lab.
Initially, the mum is not keen with.
Oh yeah, and then
as well.
he kind of gets adopted. He wins over the hearts and minds of the mother.
Eventually,
Jackie.
yeah. Jackie's
Jackie,
that her name?
yep.
Jackie.
Jackie.
Oliver's on it. Jackie.
Former 80s porn star.
That is alleged. We don't know that.
Well,
for sure.
it's implied.
I think you can tell just visually. Oliver, this might be a point to jump in because this is probably where we got up to.
This is
we
about
have
where
seen
I
the movie.
walked through the door. How do we explain this? I watched the wrong film.
Due to a scheduling conflict.
Yeah, I knew I wouldn't be able to watch the whole film with my two colleagues here. I knew I'd come in about halfway through, so last night I watched the first half of what I believe to be the film Air Bud. It was in fact Air Bud Golden Receiver, which, they could call it Air Bud 2 if it's the second one, but they didn't, and I watched it, and it's the second film, and it's great, but the wrong one. So when I walked in and saw all this going on, I was quite surprised because I did some great notes.
Oliver came in and was like, "Oh, this is quite early in the film.
Yeah.
No, this is about 40 minutes in."
Oh.
And Oliver did not recognise any of it because he had watched an entirely different film.
A good one. And we'll get to that in time, but yeah. So I'm
Undoubtedly.
not fully sure what's going on with this one.
Yeah, but I think we've accurately, detailed what happened at the start
No,
of the
but
film.
it
It's
is a
not-
complex plot, so
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got to pay attention.
forgive me if I
to
miss
say.
out some key subtle details.
So basically, the sort of core of the film is that Josh eventually gets on the basketball team, and through the help of Airbud, sort of,
and
builds up confidence and.
the elderly black caretaker used to be a
Oh
famous
yeah, that's
basketballer.
right. Yeah, so Bill Cobbs
Has clearly blown the money he made in the NBA
Yeah.
and is now a Canadian janitor.
Yeah, so he's just sort of working about all the time. Josh just sees this mysterious figure.
And he's a bit of a mentor to Josh.
That's right. And eventually, yes, and then Josh sees him and
Hang on, where is he lurking? Is it at the school?
yeah, like sometimes
Yeah,
does he
I
work
think
there?
he's a janitor.
Yeah, he's like he is some
I
sort
really
of
hope he
janitor.
does.
He's
He's like-
implied to be a janitor.
yeah,
He's implied to be working there.
there's just sort of several shots where Josh will just be sitting
Yeah.
there and then
And he'll,
walk
like,
off and
kind
he'll
of-
be there like watching. He's got like a
Yeah, I
he's
saw
got
one
like
of
a
those.
mop, so I'm thinking
Yeah, he's got a
pretty
mop
sure
and he
it's
seems to
supposed
work down in the kind of furnace area.
Yeah, and
But I mean, if I was infiltrating a school, I would bring a mop with me to,
yeah, that's a good plan.
so
Actually.
people don't ask questions. and
Just act like you're supposed to be there with the mop. Like, oh, that guy's
he's got a mop piece.
Clearly knows his business.
Because you're not going to quiz a janitor on, the specifics of the job. You see a mop, you go, well, you're probably a janitor.
And
Let you
also,
get
like,
on with it.
also, I feel like you could probably improvise the specifics of a job. Like, if someone,
Yeah.
I feel like you wouldn't be in over your
I'm
head. You'd be like,
mopping.
oh yeah, I'm mopping. You're like, oh shit, yeah, he is.
Jesus, he knows his shit.
So then he works out that he is actually like played for
A
the Knicks.
famous basketballer for the New York Knicks.
And so he becomes the new coach because the old coach
The old
is
coach is
discovered by
abusing
Earbud to be he just hurling basketballs
Like,
at this young
there
ginger
was
kid with a bowl
a
cut.
little ginger kid who messed up in the game, and the coach was just pelting him with basketballs, bleeding from his face. It's quite a
It's a
dark
really
scene.
violent scene.
It's not so. It's
Because I feel like the coach hasn't really been implied to be
No, he was-
nasty.
He's just a
like,
fairly gruff sort of
Yeah,
man.
I mean, he was just your standard kind of.
but he was like quite nice to like Josh at
Yeah.
the start, like, oh, you could be the man, he's
Yeah,
getting
yeah. He
involved
kind
and
of
stuff.
took pity on him and stuff.
But then suddenly he's actually a very,
Behind closed doors, he's
very dark man.
quite the
Yeah.
revelation.
Well, I don't know if there's
And
that
then
much else
the rising action is the Slappy Happy, the
yeah.
clown.
Happy slip.
yeah, because so like
He sees
Slap?
the
news coverage, right?
The
It's a
news
weird
coverage. Their basketball games are getting front page headlines on an apparently state level. That these 10-year-olds are playing basketball.
Yeah.
And so he sees that his dog is, like their team mascot, and figures a way to monetize this. Obviously,
He's like, oh shit, I'm missing out on some dough here.
some dough here. So he returns. He tracks them down and he takes the dog, and it's a very emotional scene. Very emotional.
Oh, I don't know if that part's it's quite a menacing scene. I found he sort of turns up at the house and he's like, "Give me
it is
back
quite
my
menacing.
dog."
There's
Yeah,
kind
I
of
guess there's an emotional element
a
there.
bit
'cause
of
he sort of,
bit of like uncomfortable tension between him and the mother.
that's right.
But
He
I
sort
mean,
of stands
yeah.
creepily behind her as
Yeah.
she's gardening. I find that to be a fairly sinister
Definitely.
shot.
And then Josh later goes and rescues his dog. That kind of happens quite quickly.
Yeah, he sort of breaks into the clown's house and steals the dog.
And then decides to set it free to the wilderness because it will be happier there starving.
Well, not
to death.
happier, but his reason is that if they take him back to the house, the clown
The
will just
clown will
come back
find him and
clown
take him
will
back.
put
But
him
a key moment when he gets the dog back is that the dog is tied to like some sort of water main.
Oh,
or
yeah.
something.
Oh, that's a good
And so like when he pulls the chain off in the escape,
Classic relief.
a lot of water is released at a high pressure.
And he flips multiple
repeatedly
times.
knocking over the clown.
Gets very muddy. It's
He cannot get his footing in this situation, and that's important because
Drawing on Aristophanes, I believe.
later on, the clown tries
Oh,
to
lovely,
assert
yes,
his ownership
yes.
of the dog, saying, "I've got the papers here."
Well, no, that was
to
when he
show-
drove into the lake. Because after
He gets wet a lot.
Oh,
As
yeah,
Josh
true, actually-
is-
oh, yeah, I forgot.
as Josh is stealing the dog, the clown pursues them in his
Okay.
very, very poorly put together car, which falls apart as he's
Pieces are literally flying off as he drives.
like rampaging through the park in this car after them.
He nearly murders a couple having a picnic.
Nearly murders a couple,
They're
totally
nice kids,
trashes the car, and then drives into a lake because he can't see where
to
he's going.
embrace before their impending doom.
Oliver was into that scene.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's why his papers.
So
are
I
wet.
think
can't
that's
remember
Well,
why-
why
yeah, he gets wet quite a lot, and then the papers that claim ownership of the dog are wet. And
They're not legible anymore.
That comes back later in the film.
Yes, but let's sort of skip.
I feel. Yeah.
I feel like
Okay,
this is
yeah,
taking
okay. Basically, they're having the final basketball game. Buddy comes back.
Yeah.
He's able to use
Fucking
his
shoot some
powers
hoops.
to shoot hoops. They win.
Great
And
scene.
hugely emotional for us all.
Wonderful drumming.
And that's where you think the
percussion.
film will end. But
Oh, yes.
there is more, because Mr. Snively, or Happy
The highlight of the film.
returns, and this is where we discover that his papers have been ruined. But he's basically trying to say,
The film transitions into a bit of a legal thriller.
yeah, it
There's a
becomes-
courtroom
it becomes sort of an
scene.
episode of Law and Order at the very last minute.
It's fantastic.
This really is the highlight of the film, this scene. So we're in a court case, basically, where Josh and his mother are trying to
Prove
say,
ownership
hey,
of the dog. Not
yeah.
through legal
Not-
means, but
yeah,
rather
but
just
through
saying, we
saying
really
we
like
like
him.
him.
just trying to give
All
him a
these people
persuasive
love him.
argument.
Neither side gives a persuasive legal console, rather they just both claim to like the
Which
dog.
is irrelevant because the judge is partaking in some interesting substances.
The judge was clearly very high or potentially senile.
It's just an absolute, I think both. There's clearly some dementia going on.
He's not loving his life.
He's an absolute savage,
just
is what he
getting
is.
through from day to day, just fucking turning up at court.
And he's barely
doling out
following the
arbitrary
case as well.
sentences. Yeah.
He's sort of constantly asking his assistant, like, what's actually going on in the case.
Believes the
Can't-
dog is a human boy.
He says, "Oh, that's an ugly kid," which
great
even
burn.
if it was a child, would be an incredibly rude statement
Highly
to make,
inappropriate for it.
just to someone standing in front of you. But yeah, so this becomes quite a comedic scene, just because just the nature of the character of the judge.
The judge, played by Michael Christmas,
He hits
is
his bloody gavel.
Michael
His
Christmas is my,
dog barks.
my
Is-
personal favourite actor of all time.
classically trained, obviously an actor of the stage.
I know him from the X-Files episode in which he plays an old guy who sort of convinces ghosts to rape a caretaker at a hospital, an old
Yeah.
prison hospital.
Which
not sure if anybody else will
that's
remember that
more
episode.
of a hobby to complement his judging career.
He actually plays a kind of a similar character in that, which is terrifying.
I look forward to seeing him in future projects.
Well, he actually died quite a while ago.
Oh, dear.
This movie was 97, man. He's a pretty elderly
He was an old man.
Which brings me on to the point of the fact that Air Bud is actually
Died a year after making
a
the
somber
film.
tone is set over the film as you realise that this loving tale of dog and boy is marred by the fact that this dog is now dead.
And in fact died a year
Died
after
a year
filming.
later.
That was
Chilling.
after
This
something
performance
Jamie
is from
dropped
a
on us.
creature approaching death, and he seems aware of it.
He's an athlete. He's
But he continues with his
clearly the life took a toll on him. Drugs may have been involved. It's a high stress environment. We
Life of
can't
the day, you know,
we can't cast judgment there.
we can't begin to speculate.
Yeah.
But Air Bud, your thoughts? No, I don't even know what.
Yeah, but
I'm
your thoughts are with us.
Clearly, I am deeply
But you have no
affected
thoughts because
by your death.
yeah.
It's just, I'm just really
incoherent
sad
with-
that you didn't get to see Air Bud Golden Receiver. I hear nothing but great things about that film.
Yeah.
And it's truly a shame you didn't get to participate in that. I'm really hoping that you got a posthumous Oscar. Although I am not sure on that one. Anything else we want to say about Air Bud? Oh, the principal.
Probably.
The principal was a lovely woman.
Oh yes. Are we just
She
talking
really
about,
put
are
her
we just
heart and
talking about
soul.
characters
She's-
now? Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about some of the.
She was just
We'll just-
giving
just
it her
dig
all in
into
every scene, just really committing to her role as very excited by basketball.
Yeah.
Like
I
jumping
also-
up and down. She was dancing in some scenes. She was enjoyed it a whole.
I suspect drugs were also involved.
Oh yeah. Well, I assume kind of most of the cast. It
Just
was
a
the
drug-fueled
90s, Jamie. It
set, I
was a different
think.
time.
So yeah, she was a standout.
Even in the background, she would just be giving it 110%.
You'd notice her just in the back. She was just giving it her all, really reacting, acting as reacting. They always say. And boy, did she really fucking nail that aspect.
Another actor was the old father of the boy who was Josh's rival.
Oh yes, oh yes. Josh
First
has
thing I saw him, and he's
a rival character who's quite an unfortunate looking boy.
He's just-
Yeah, I think there's something going on. There.
I'm sure
he's touched.
fetal alcohol system. I'm sure he turned out all right. We'd have to do a Google for certain. But so he's kind of dismissive of Josh and his basketball skills. But then later he himself gets kicked from the team for not being a team player. But his dad's not happy about that fact.
he stands
The dad
the
was-
whole time raging incoherently throughout the game.
he
It's-
seems to be drunk or he's had a
incredible
stroke of some
performance.
sort.
Slurred
His mouth is
speech.
constantly on the sort of angle as he sort of eats
Maybe he
out.
did. That's quite dark. I like
Yeah,
the
maybe he's a
theory.
stroke.
I think he's just drunk.
Yeah, the drunk thing, because he's quite an aggressive father, you
Yeah.
feel. When because the coach, played by Bill Cobbs, as we all know, takes this mean boy off the team at one point because he's not playing the game appropriately, and the dad's like, oh, this is fucking ridiculous. So he uproots his entire family and moves to a different school.
Moves to a different county so his son can play on a different basketball team.
Which
comes back for the
really
final.
quite irresponsible.
It's a bit of a twist. They find out that they're facing their old star.
Yeah, which it's not really. I mean, like
I found it shocking. I was shocked.
It's like a twist, I guess, but this character hasn't actually had a huge amount of setup. It's not really a core.
He was developed, okay, and he ultimately does find redemption. And that kind of brings me to one of the points I wanted to address about the film, which is there's quite a lot of religious imagery.
That's right. Yes, that's
a
true.
lot of religious imagery, really.
Yeah. Some real Christ images.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's several scenes which reference Michelangelo's famous painting on
Oliver,
the
I think
Sistine
you might
Chapel.
have been absent for one of these.
You may have been
one
absent
of them,
for one,
the
but
old
there's
reaching
one
out.
where like hands reach down, and it's obviously very reminiscent. Of course, in one they hilariously subvert it because there's a paw and a hand.
Oh shit!
So that's
a statement.
that is kind of man lifting the dog up.
I think the director.
And I'll talk about that more later as well.
And then another part where Josh goes to confront the coach about being a former Knicks player, and he sort of. The coach is in some sort of weird grate above him.
Yeah.
And he's sort of...
He's dwelling in he's a vent dweller.
to sign
and so he reaches his hand.
Trading
out.
card.
Really fallen on
grabs
hard
his-
times. Now dwells in the vents.
That I found to be a very weird image. It sort of seemed to be a caged animal.
Maybe
I'm not
it's
sure.
talking about race. And
Yeah,
racism.
maybe Earbud really touches on some racial
Really,
issues.
yeah, in a subtle way. Just does bring out discussion about those issues.
But another character who we can't forget to mention was the sort of Harold Ramis lookalike who appeared at the very end, who I think was some sort of head
of the
coach.
other
Yeah,
team.
he was involved in the other
Furious
team.
Oh,
coach
yes.
that a
Oh,
dog
he
could
was
play
brilliant.
Now this guy, if you thought the principal was giving it a roll, this guy had the dial turned up to 11. He was just constantly outraged and by the inclusion of Earbud.
Yeah.
And he displayed that very physically.
Understandably, though, if you were playing a
stomping
game
and-
and your team was winning, and then suddenly they're like, "Oh, hold on, we're going to allow this dog."
This
to play,"
dog.
You'd be
I
understandably
think he's kind of
upset,
justify it.
Yeah, he does, and he says-
Especially once the dog starts beating your entire team.
Yeah, the dog savages a few kids.
I feel like that's insult to injury.
I mean, he's very angry, but his point is a fair one. Dogs can't play basketball.
Although
I would beg to differ.
I mean, well, that's what I always thought.
It doesn't say in the rules that a dog can't play basketball.
The Jewish stereotype ref gives a very cursory glance to the rulebook.
Looks
Within
at
2
one
seconds,
page.
and goes, "It's right. There's no rule here."
about dogs not playing basketball.
It's a classic scene, and obviously one with massive pop culture ramifications.
Yeah, and so then they sort of
Probably the best known.
prove that there is no rule that dogs can't play basketball.
And then the dog
Earbud,
continues to play basketball.
and wins them the game.
Yeah. It was quite the revelation for me, certainly. It rocked my world.
Yeah, so that's I think we're pretty. Oh, one other thing. I'd expected a poop joke in this movie. I think that's a staple of dog
We've
films.
watched a few trailers.
I don't think that was the right tone, though. This was
this wasn't as much.
this was quite a family movie.
It wasn't really a comedy either. Like
I mean, there were definitely moments of
comedic
comedy.
elements, but it was more just like a family.
It didn't go too hardcore with it. It's like, let's give it some heart.
It had some
It had heart. It did have heart.
Yeah, I will agree. This movie
it
was
didn't-
not utterly terrible.
It was not. It wasn't
I feel
a
like
bad
it was
film.
well made.
It was
enough.
I feel. I mean,
some
you've
touching moment.
yeah, definitely. The scene where he has to say goodbye to his dog, while he's trying to get rid of him, was
Really
there
pulls
was
the
some real emotion
heartstrings.
there, and
Yes.
props.
Can't agree with that. I thought it was schmaltzy.
Okay,
Overdone?
I mean, I
You've got to
think.
give the kid a break. He's like 10 or something.
No. Yeah.
I mean, you say what you want about his haircut, which I will. It was terrible.
it's going to be good.
Except for when it's like wet and slicks back, I thought his haircut was
It's
okay.
lovely.
Yeah, it
it's
was
a
quite
precursor to potentially Hairbud too.
Oh my!
We'll get into that at some other.
Oh boy, will we?
But yeah, no poop joke this week. This was sort of a segment I had hoped to have reoccurring about.
Because we
poop
saw
jokes.
trailers with
a lot of trailers
several dog
do feature poop jokes.
Because it's an easy get, isn't it? You know, dogs poop.
dogs poo. That's their thing.
Yeah.
They fart.
Get a quick easy
more than
gag out of
humans,
it.
or sort of then less aware
Do
of it than
they?
humans.
Do you think?
Probably not statistically, but it's sort of more of a.
It's something that you amp up.
Maybe, it's part. I suppose the dogs aren't trying to hide the fact that they're farting or pooping as we do.
Well, they've got no social conscience.
Exactly. Well, maybe there's something to be said for that, Jamie. Maybe
they're fine with it, and maybe we shouldn't shame them in these films. I'm glad there wasn't a joke in it.
That's right. That's right.
I think
the film had enough class to not go there.
I mean, Air Bud is in control of his bodily functions, but if he wasn't, it wouldn't matter because he's a dog.
Although he might not have been in his later life the following year.
Yeah.
Buddy was 10 years old. And on that note, I think we...
Whoa. Before we wrap it up,
okay,
there's something I want to touch on here, because...
I thought that was a good place to end.
No, it would be a great place, but...
Okay, well...
No. You continue. Clearly you've got something you want to get off your chest.
Well, I do actually, because I think that there's another tale being told by this film.
Yes,
tale.
Yes, you must delve into this.
And Oliver claims to have a better theory than me, but I think that Josh's dad, Mr. Fram, renowned Air Force pilot, is not dead.
No.
I think that he lives on. I think that in his role as an Air Force pilot, he
was it.
Well, I assume.
Probably they do flying stuff.
Yeah, okay.
He's obviously testing out prototype jets and the like.
Yeah.
I think he was recruited by NASA. That's the
NASA.
Well, no, because that's where NASA recruited. That's where NASA
alternate universe counterparts of NASA.
Oh, fuck you. NASA, fuck you all.
We say NASA here.
I don't subscribe
and
to that.
everywhere else, indeed.
So continue with your theory about Josh's deceased father.
Anyway, as we all know, that particular agency recruits from the Air Force, so it makes sense.
Yes.
Oh.
Please continue.
And I think he became involved in an experiment to see if they could bioengineer a dog.
Jesus.
That would have some sort of role in space, presumably relating to maybe knocking up equipment, dunking, I don't know, something that would give him the powers that we see in that film. And that dog was, of course, Air Bud.
Oh my gosh.
And that would make the clown none other than Mr. Fram.
Oh, holy shit.
He's undergone massive surgery.
Yeah,
because there's a line. The clown says, "I hate being a clown." Now, to me, that suggests that he doesn't have a choice. He's clearly got no natural talent for being a clown. He's inept.
And it suggests that he hasn't always been a clown. So I hate being a clown.
Yeah, exactly.
He hasn't chosen.
I want to go back to flying fucking jets. Imagine the humiliation after being a prestigious fighter jet pilot of riding around Canada in his shitty truck.
His truck, which I will point out, says he does weddings, which is
why is he pretending to be a clown?
Unconventional.
Why is that his cover?
It's just deep cover. It's what the agency thought would work
best.
Witness
protection.
Yes.
Yeah,
you've got to understand.
Yeah,
because for some reason the project went bad. They had to get out, and they had to get out fast. So they gave him massive surgery, and they sent him to traipse around Canada as a clown with the dog to stop it falling into the wrong hands. They didn't want the...
Why the wrong hands?
They didn't want the Clinton administration. No, they didn't want the Clinton administration to get hold of it. New government coming in, I assume, sometime around 1997.
That wasn't Bush 2000?
Yeah, so Clinton would have been there for a little bit. But
maybe he was
fairly fresh. Was he?
Maybe. Sorry? Well, I mean, when they started, writing the movie, of course.
Yeah.
I think you've really discovered the filmmakers.
He's been there for... Well, he's probably been doing this for about a year.
Yeah.
So when the Clinton administration came in, they're like, look, this man, we don't want him... He's got ulterior motives. We don't want him getting his hand on this dog technology. And so they sent the dog and his guardian to roam around Canada. And that's why we see the clown. He does... he tries to protect the dog, but he's also... obviously got a lot of sympathy for Josh and his mother. And he knows that even though he can't be there for him, he wants them to have the dog, which is why he makes such a poor court case.
Right.
And ultimately sabotages his own chances of getting the dog, because he brings out the newspaper.
Yeah, the newspaper.
He knows the dog doesn't like the newspaper.
Yeah, but it's been set up earlier on that Air Bud has been previously abused.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He beats Air Bud with the newspaper. I mean, he's not a flawless character. He's obviously got his problems. But the things this man has done for America and for the free world...
Yeah.
I think you have to give him a bit of a break.
Well, certainly an interesting theory.
Yeah.
Very in-depth. Far more in-depth than the actual plot of the movie, which is a real testament to the filmmakers. And hopefully it will be something we see developed in sequels, maybe discussed at a later time.
What film are we watching next week?
Oh yes, what film are we watching next week? We're going to have a little bit of a game each week we play, where on a rotation, one of us will choose the next week's or next recording session's film.
Well, yeah.
So it's going to go Alistair, me, Jamie, and then Oliver. So Alistair, you're up first, buddy.
I can reveal to you, dear listeners and dear co-hosts,
thank you,
that the film we'll be watching is none other than the classic Tim Allen vehicle, Shaggy Dog.
Oh my god, the Shaggy Dog. Oh shit, Robert Downey Jr. at his prime. I think we can all agree on.
What's he doing in it?
He plays he plays the villain. So yeah, well,
all right,
that will be a real treat. But for this week, I think that about wraps us up.
That's Earbud.
That is Earbud. R.I.P. Always.
We hope to return to the universe soon.
We have to return to the universe of dogs that don't play basketball. I will go home and greet my dog, and he will not respond by shooting some hoops at me, and that will cause me a lot of pain. But until next time, get your hands off my Dogcast.
Woo!